Good morning. Welcome to Shape Your Buddha. My name is Dani, for those of you who don't know who I am. This morning, we are going to start on our back. So if that's something that is not appealing to you, you can still sit up by all means. If there are any props or anything that you know you like to have for your practice, I'm not showing with any props today, but feel free to have them. We are doing some balance, so if you have the opportunity to have a chair or a wall, if you know that balance might be a little bit of a life struggle for you today, you can always have one of those nearby. Otherwise, find your way onto your back. And once you've found your way onto your back, just find a position that's comfortable for you. So it might be flat on the back, it might be knees bent, you might want something underneath the head for just a moment. Just noticing what it is your body needs today. And once you've found that place where you feel comfortable, start to connect with the breath. Just becoming aware of where the breath is sitting in the body without judgment. Quality of the breath. Is it long, short, deep, or full? And with your next inhalation, begin to deepen that breath. As you exhale, letting go of anything you don't need to hang on to this morning, be it mentally or physically. So really starting to create that space, peace, and stillness for you. And slowly allow the breath to relax. Just wiggling the fingers, wiggling the toes, noticing how those joints are feeling this morning. And then just shaking out the legs a bit, rotating right from your hips. So feet in and out, in and out. And then really shake them. And allow that movement to stop. Taking the arms, maybe you have enough space to take your arms out into a T position, keeping the backs of the hands on the floor, sliding those arms all the way up, just above the head, and then flex the feet, make nice tight fists with the hands, tighten everything, and then relax. And then take a breath in, tighten everything again, and exhale, relax. One last time. Inhale, tighten everything, the muscles behind your ears, and relax. Then taking the right knee in towards the chest, wrapping the hands around the shins, just gently rock from side to side, just noticing how that hip feels today. Allow that movement to stop. Take that leg back down, stretch those arms all the way up above the head again, and then switch over to that left side, drawing that left knee in. And just again, moving it in and out, side to side, noticing how your low back, how your hips and knees feel today, and whatever else might be speaking to you. And then we'll just do that one more time to each side. So straighten out again, and then switch over back to that right side, and just that same in and out, that gentle rocking. Don't be afraid to allow that spine to move a bit. Don't keep it stiff. Stretch everything back out, and then once more over to that left side, making sure that you're not holding your breath. And again, noticing how mobile that spine's feeling this morning, how mobile that hip's feeling, and then stretch everything back out. And then draw the right knee in, and take that left leg and stretch it straight up towards the ceiling. And then slowly start to lower that leg down towards the floor, noticing what's going on through the neck and shoulders. Then bring that foot all the way back up, and then lower it down again. And then lifting it back up. And then 2 more times, and then notice, are you holding your breath? If you are, find it. And then 1 more time, lowering down, lift straight back up, bend that left knee in, and then switch sides. That right leg extends fully up towards the ceiling, and then slowly begin to lower it down. Drawing that leg all the way back up. Lowering it down. Again, noticing the difference from side to side. Noticing how the low back feels, what's going on through the neck and shoulders. And then 1 more time. Drawing that leg all the way up. Bend the knee, tuck it into the chest, and then just rock from side to side if you need that, just to relax the back a bit. And then stretch that left leg back up. This time moving a little faster, lowering that leg down, lifting it up. We'll do this 3 more times. 2, 3, draw that leg up, and then switch over to the other side. So 4 on this side. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Draw that back up, draw in. So your options are to keep going with that, alternating from side to side with one knee in at the chest, one leg straight. Otherwise, taking your hands down to the ground. I prefer my palms facing down, but that might not feel right for your shoulders, so palms up is totally okay. And then you notice, I like my hands somewhere in between where my hips are and where my shoulders are. So you decide, maybe it's a day where it feels better with arms straight out in a T position or with your hands flat down by the hips. Stretch the legs straight up towards the ceiling. And then slowly begin to lower the legs all the way down. Watching that head's not cranking up and you're creating tension through the neck. Head and shoulders stay down. Bend the knees, draw them in towards the chest. Stretch those legs up. On the exhale, if you can, start to lower those legs down. Inhale, knees come into the chest, legs press up. Do this 4 more times. 1, 2, 3. Last one, go really nice and slow, even slower, even slower. And again, make sure that you're breathing, don't hold your breath. And then draw those knees in towards the chest, rock from side to side. And then straighten those legs straight back up. Your options are to do exactly what we just did. So legs down, drawing the knees into the chest, or if you were alternating legs side to side, you can do that. Otherwise, we'll do 4 leg lifts together, straight up and down. So exhale, lower, 1. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower, 2. 3. 4. Draw everything back up, bring the knees in towards the chest, rock from side to side. And if we're feeling like you can, we'll do 4 more of those before we move on to the next thing. So stretch those legs straight back up towards the ceiling, and then slowly start to lower down on that exhalation. 1, 2, go slower. 3, 4, last one, really slow it down, like you're trying to move through peanut butter. You can tell I'm hungry. Going up, and then draw those knees in towards the chest. This time take your knees wider apart so the knees are heading more towards the armpits and the shoulders than they are straight into the chest, and just rock from side to side. Draw the knees back together, arms come out into a T position, palms facing up towards the ceiling. And on your next exhalation, just drop the knees over to the left. Don't worry about that back shoulder being on the ground just yet. Just find your way into whatever comfortable twist is for you. And then notice, are your knees stacked one on top of the other? And then notice, is that back right shoulder lifting off the ground? Take another breath here. And then slowly adjust yourself so you can get that back right shoulder down on the ground. So that might mean those knees need to lift or move further apart. Just noticing. Try both and just move to where your right shoulder is comfortable down on the ground. And then slowly coming back up to center and then dropping all the way over to that right side. That left shoulder might lift up. Allow those knees to come down. And then just notice here the difference from side to side, and then readjust yourself so that left shoulder can find its way onto the ground. So it might be moving that arm out a little bit, lowering that arm, might be readjusting the position of the feet. Come back up to center. Now keeping both shoulders down on the ground, head back over to the left side. Gaze goes over to that right hand. Come back up to center. And then all the way over to the right side. Gaze goes left this time, looking at that left hand. Keep both shoulders down on the ground. Inhale, come back up. So your options are to repeat that, or this time, could you turn your palms to face down and then start to lower the legs towards the floor, keeping the knees, ankles, and feet touching, if that feels good for you. If you need to put a block in between the knees, you might need to, or just keep them separated if you have low back issues. Otherwise, pause here, just before the ground. So you can see my knees are about 4 or 5 inches off the ground. And then inhale, come back to the center. Gaze goes over to the right, knees go over to the right. Pressing into that back left hand, and then come back up. Do 2 more times to each side, lowering down, and you decide, is it more comfortable for you to have your gaze go the opposite direction or the same direction as the knees? Come back up, and then over to the other side. Really watching what's happening to those legs. Use them. Think about squeezing them together. Lengthening through the tailbone, sending those sit bones away from you. Come back. One more time to each side. And really noticing what muscles you are using. Are you just sliding and dropping to one side? Or can you really use your core to draw you back up to center? And then one more time over to the right side. And then back up to center. Draw the knees in towards the chest and just rock from side to side. So that's your first option. We'll do 4 more to each side with a little bit of an extra add-in if you would like it. So palms down, knees drop over to the left to start, and then extend those legs straight out. So it'll be at a little bit of an angle, so they're not in line with the hips. It's just straight out, so just straighten your legs. Bend the knees, and then come right back up to center. Then dropping over to the right side. Again, the knees are not touching the ground. Straighten those legs. Bend the knees again. Come right back up to center. And again, 3 more times to each side, or maybe you take a break and go grab something to eat. Stretch out. Back in. Don't hold the breath. It's easier, or it feels easier for me entering that twist on the exhalation. But notice how your body feels today. Come back. And then 2 more times to each side. Really think about what you're using. Can you use that core to draw you back up and in? Are you using those legs as you press out? Come back in. Draw over. And we'll do 1 more to each side. Over. Press those feet. Draw the knees up and in. Over. 1 more time. Last one. Press to the feet. Draw those knees up and in. Don't let them touch the ground. Come back up to center. Wrap the hands around the shins and really rock from side to side. Placing the feet down on the ground this time. And then just drop the knees from side to side. Like a reverse windshield wiper. And then pause here. Wrap the hands around the shins. Maybe it's a day where you can bring the forehead up towards the knees and draw the shoulders in. And maybe it's a day where you want to do some spinal rocks, so grabbing the backs of the legs, doing a few spinal rocks. Or maybe it's a day where you rock from side to side. If you are doing spinal rocks, maybe it's a day where you can rock up into a squat, all the way back, rock up into a squat, and back. Or maybe it's a day where you can rock into a squat and stand up, come back down, and do that again. And could you do it 4 or 5 times? We'll just do 4 more. 2, 3, and last one, 4, and then finding your way into a seated position. Wherever is comfortable for you today, I would challenge you to try to sit right on those heels, if you can today. But if you know that that's really terrible for your knees or your back or whatever, just find wherever is comfortable for you. All right. Take a nice big deep breath in, lengthening up through the chest. And then as you exhale, sliding your hands down your legs, bringing the hands to the knees as you round the spine. Keeping the hands on the knees this time, draw the elbows out, bring the chest forward. Don't allow that head to drop back. And then just tuck that chin in as you round. And then start to connect with the breath. As you inhale, it's that opening of the spine, opening of the chest. And as you exhale, it's that rounding. And then see if you can speed that movement up. Maybe it's a day where you just need some slow movement. So take the time for that slow movement. Otherwise, inhale, exhaling. Do 2 more. Open, closed, open, close. Pause here. Lift that right arm. Take the left hand either to the belly or to the floor, and just a gentle side bend. And really think about lengthening up through the chest. The gaze can go into your armpit. Inhale, come back up, and then switch sides. Again, the gaze can go into the armpit and come back up. One more time to each side. This time, really think about lengthening up through the spine and not collapsing over to one side. Really create that nice length through both sides of your rib cage. Come back. And then over to that right side. Again, notice how much weight's on that bottom right hand. Come back up. And then open those arms up into a nice T position. And then just start to make some small circles. Draw the shoulders out of your ear. Look over to your right hand. Look over to the left hand. And then can you make the circles a little bit faster, but keep them really small? And then if I said, imagine you have 5 pounds in each hand, could you spread the hands really nice and wide apart? And then pause, go the other way. And then notice as you change directions, what happened to the shoulders. Could you let them drop down out of the ears a little bit? And then again, really open those hands, spread them really nice and wide. And then pause, hold out. Lift the arms all the way up. Rotate the palms so they face down as you lower them down. And then turn the palms up, lift. And if I gave you 5 pounds to hold, could you in each hand turn all the way down? Last one, palms go up, up, up. Draw the shoulders down as the arms move up. Pause when you get to shoulder height. Give yourself a really nice big hug and then shake it out. Remember what arm is on top. Open everything up again and then hug yourself with the other arm on top this time. Perfect. And take your arms out to a T position and then bend your elbows. So you're creating that really nice 90-degree shape. So if you're not 100% sure, just look over to each side a couple times. Warm up that neck. And then pause back at center. And then straighten one arm straight up and then lower it down. Switch to the other side, lower it down. And then notice what's moving. Really see if you can feel those shoulder blades engage and move up and down the spine. One more time to each side. And now pause. Could you move the arms together up and back down without drawing the shoulders into the ears and creating this awkward shape and tension through the neck? Really think about opening up. And maybe your straight up is more of a wide V. That's okay. 2 more. Down, up, down, and hold. Now, turn your left hand down. Drop back up. Now, switch side. Taking that right palm, dropping it towards the floor, facing whatever is behind you. Come back up, and then switch. Up, switch, switch, switch. And we'll do 2 more. 1, 2, and then pause, lift the arms up, and then bend the elbows, and draw the elbows down behind you. Pause here for a second. And just think about what's going on through the chest. I'm gonna pivot so you can actually see what my back is doing, but you do not have to also move. So drawing the elbows together, you wanna make sure that your ribs are not coming forward into that, creating that back bend shape. Just try to relax the spine so it's just sitting in a straight up and down position. Draw the elbows in together, and then could you extend the arms all the way back up? Draw the elbows down, 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 and then slowly squeezing them together. It's quite a low movement. That's perfect. 2 more times, up, and lower down, down, down. And then last one, reach up, 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 up. Lower all the way down. Really think about what's going on through that back. Keeping the chest nice and even. Squeeze, and drop the shoulders down. Relax the arms. And then just take your hand and just rub the top of your shoulder, really letting the neck relax. It might feel good to drop the head over to one side, and then keep rubbing out through that top of the shoulder. Bring everything back up to center. Drop the head the other way, and then take your hand and just rub the top of your shoulder, letting your arms, letting the shoulders relax just a little bit. And then just making some circles with the shoulders just to release them. And then go the other way. And then pause. We'll do one more shoulder thing. So if you need to leave it out, you absolutely can before we move out of the seated position, I promise. So take those arms back up into that kind of goal pose position we just had them in. Then turn and start to drop your palms towards the floor. So your wrists, elbows, and shoulders are all parallel to the floor. Okay. Take a nice big deep breath in here. And as you exhale, draw the elbows straight back. Again, I'll pivot so you can see what's happening with my movement here. Elbows draw straight back. So instead of that down action we just did, they stay up. That might mean that this movement isn't that big for you, and that's perfectly fine. Bring them back in line with the shoulders, and then exhale and draw them back, squeezing those shoulder blades together. Release, come forward. 3 more times. Draw those shoulder blades together. Really think about squeezing a lemon in between the shoulders. Really try hard not to drop those elbows down. And then lift. Squeeze. Don't hold the breath. Come back. Last one. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then come back and relax the arms down. Again, just making nice quick circles one way and then go the other way. And just notice what way felt easier. And just gently tucking the chin down towards the chest. And just a couple times allowing the chin to move along the collarbone just to allow the neck to relax. If it feels good for you, if you practice full neck rolls, absolutely. Just make sure you do the same to each direction. Otherwise, chin moves along, ear drops over to one shoulder, chin moves back down along the collarbone, ear drops to the other shoulder. It doesn't matter which direction you started in, just one more to each side. And then pausing with the chin back at center. So if you do have issues with your knees, you may just want to stand up. Otherwise, take your hands straight ahead of you and then lift them up. Take that left hand down to your hip and then slide your hips over to the right. So now my sit bones are down, well, my right sit bone is down and my left sit bone is up. Take a breath in and then side bend over to the left. Inhale, come back up. Both arms reach up. Center yourself and then over to the other side. Hand comes to the hip, right hand to right hip, and then bending right this time. Come back up. Straighten both arms. Come back to the center. We'll just do one more to each side. And if you want to just do a seated side bend without any of this, you absolutely can. Come back. Last one. Back up to center. Arms straighten. Sit bones. And then take your hands to your hips. So come straight up to standing if your knees bother you. Otherwise, tuck your toes. and lift your knees off the ground. So you might want to play with your feet. I had to play with my feet this morning. They're very cracky today, so I apologize for any awkward popping sounds they might be. And then straighten those arms straight out. And then could you stand up? And then sit back down. And then stand back up. And we'll do this 4 more times. 1, and 2, 3, 4. Stay standing. Come, bring your hands to your hips, and then just do a couple calf raises. So lower the heels down, and then come back up onto the toes. Down, up. And again, if you need a wall or that chair, or a small child, they're not very sturdy though. So just keep going, lifting up and down. And lift through the chest, draw the shoulders down, reach to the top of the head, and just notice where you're feeling this. Are you lifting up through the base of the belly? Could you do 3 more? 1, 2, 3, and then hold. And then step your right foot just slightly ahead of the left foot. And then lift up nice and tall. And then could you sit down? And then step back up. And down. Up. And change your arms so they're straight out in front of you. And we'll do 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then step forward with the left. Lengthen through the top of the head. And if you need to do this on flat feet or leave it out, you absolutely can. Or if there's any modifications that you want to do, you absolutely can. Adjust those feet. And then we'll do 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come back up to standing. Take your hands to your hip. Step forward and then just walk it out. Being kind to yourself. Just draw one knee in towards the chest. Lower it down. Other knee in towards the chest. Lower it down and then just shake it out again. And then play with your feet a bit. So step forward with that left foot and then step it back. Step forward with the other foot, step it back. Just keep alternating side to side. So I know it doesn't seem like much, but this is your option 1. And it's just getting your body used to moving, noticing. And then could you change that and step out to the side and back, out to one side, back to center, out to the other side. Just keep alternating. And then notice, could you go back and forth from your feet? And then switch what leg is in front, alternating, rocking back and forth. And then coming back and then stepping out to the side, rocking side to side. And then step back in and then rock again. So that's your option 1. Come back to center and just, so you decide if that felt really good for you and that's where you want to leave that today. Just keep repeating that. Otherwise, I would encourage you to try. Could you come up onto your toes and then step forward, step back, and then switch, alternate, step, and then just nice, quick, fast movement. So from the side, it looks like this. Back. All right, and then maybe you're feeling, all right, this is really slow. This is not what I signed up for. You can lift up nice and tall to the top of your head, staying on your toes, and jump and switch. Okay, alternating side to side. Lifting up nice and tall. And again, watching what's happening through the knees and through the hips. And could you speed that up a bit? And then notice how high are you getting off the ground? And could you get a little higher? And then pause. And just notice how you're feeling. Notice your heart rate. And then you don't have to pivot, but keeping up on the toes if you are on them. Could you jump out to the side and back in, out, in, out, in. And keep going, lifting up through the top of the head. And notice if you're traveling at all and moving, are you landing in the same spot or relatively the same spot? Keep going, nice and strong. And then pause. Take a nice big step forward with the right foot. Drop down, come back up. Drop down, come back up. Alternating sides, just like we were doing in those jumps we just did. Stepping forward and lunging, coming back up. So while you're doing this, play with where your front foot's landing. Don't worry about necessarily how beautiful everything looks just right now. Worry about how stable and safe you feel. So notice, do your knees and hips feel like they can support you? Does your back feel like it's long? And does it feel like your core is supporting you? So not overly engaged, but just able to support you, not rounding forward. Keep switching side to side. And then two more. One, two. Pause. And since we step forward, we best step backwards. So again, check your surroundings, make sure you're not going to trip over anything. And step straight back. Try not to look where that back foot's going. Drop straight down. Come back. Drop. Yeah, step straight back and drop that knee down and then step back. All right. We'll do 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Come back up to standing. Shake those legs out. Whew, good job, guys. And now we did jumps out to the side. So now we're going to step out to the side. Again, you may need to change your position on your mat. Just make sure you don't have anything around you that you're going to step on. But step wide out to the right. Squat down. Come back to center. Step wide out to the left. Squat down. Come back up. 1. And we'll do 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Coming back to center. This time, I'm going to change it a little bit. Stepping out in a diagonal. So, sorry, I'm going to step back just a bit so you can see me in the camera. And then you're going to step out just wide a little bit to the right. So it's not straight out from my shoulder. It's just ahead of where that right hip is. From the side, looks like that. Can't tell what angle is best for you guys, but hopefully you understand. And then drop down. Come back up. That back leg stays straight. Step back to the center. Step out wide to the left. Again, at that angle. Drop down. Push back to center. Forward. Back leg stays straight in this one. Step back. Out. And back in. We'll do 3 more to each side. And 2. Last set. 3. And 3. Coming back to the center. Shake it out. Take a breath in. Lift the arms. Lift the gaze. And then coming into whatever forward fold feels good for you. I like a wide leg forward fold, so my feet are about foot length apart. And then just hinging forward. Knees bend, legs straight. You decide what feels best for you. And then coming up halfway, pause here. Take a really nice calming breath in. And a long letting go exhalation. And then inhale to come all the way back up. Hands come to the hips. And then step your feet so they are either foot length apart or wider, not narrower. Okay? Lengthen through the top of the head, and then think about sitting back in a chair. Take your hands to your hips just this time. We'll stick them straight out in a second here, but just noticing where those hips are going. And then take a look at your knees and your ankles. The most important thing is that they feel safe. I find that in this position that my knees overshoot my ankles just a little, but they don't hurt. So that might not be your story. You might actually have that straight up and down. If I go back here, I get a little bit of a weird pressure in my knees. So just find where you're not feeling any pressure or twinging through your knees and drop down. Draw your belly towards your spine and then stand back up and squeeze those inner thighs together as you stand. Drop straight back, down, and then come all the way up. Drop down, come up. Last one, dropping down, coming up, and this time, drop back and hold. Arms come straight ahead this time. Shifting your weight over to the left foot. Could you pick that right foot off the ground? And then send that right foot back and press it straight up. Lower it down. The option is to do this against the wall with your hands, or you can actually do this with straight legs as well. You can do it in the squat though. Try for the squat. Leg presses back, coming in. Foot draws back, lifting it up towards the ceiling. Draw it back in. 2 more. 1 and 2. Draw it back in. Foot comes down. If you need to stand in straight between sides, stand straight between sides and shake those legs out. Otherwise, stay down. And if you are shaking out, come back down. We do have another side to do. So shift that weight to the right foot this time, and your left foot is off the ground. And then send that left knee back. That left foot flexes and press it straight up towards the ceiling. And again, watch what's happening to that torso. Don't allow it to hinge forward. Think straight up and down. There's a little bit of a curve back or hinge forward, but I'm not parallel to the floor at all. I will do 2 more. 1, 2. Come down. Stand straight back up. Shake the legs out. Hinge forward from the hips and come into whatever forward fold feels good for you. If you can find yourself in a forward fold where you can sway side to side, move there. And then slowly, 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 slowly curl back up. Draw the shoulders down out of the ears and relax. Shift your weight over to the left side. And then just take that right knee and turn it out to the side. Allow that right heel to come off the ground. Then back in and out. Notice how the hips feel. And then if you can, start to make some circles with the hips, allowing that foot to come off the ground. Maybe. And then pause, go the other way. And then could you hold that foot up and out to the side? Take that right elbow, or take that right arm, and then draw the right elbow to the right knee. Stretch everything up, and as you stretch everything up, that right foot goes out to the side and then tucks behind you. Backwards into a diagonal. Come back up, bringing the elbow and the knee together. Straighten everything and step straight back. If you can move a little faster, it's here to here. Here. There you go. Wonderful. Keeping that foot flexed if you can. Do 2 more. 1, 2, hold up, take everything down, lower that arm down, shake up the legs, and moving over, that weight shifts over to the right foot and the left toes come to the ground, and then just going in and out to start. And then making some circles to the hips, allowing that foot to come off the ground. And then switching directions, go the other way. And then pause with that leg up. Left arm reaches up. And then draw that elbow down to that knee, coming into a slight side bend. Reaching up and taking that leg back and across. And then coming back up. Elbow to knee. And then moving a little faster if you can. And we'll do 3 more. 1, 2, and last one, 3. Step back, everything together, lower down, and then shake it all out. Bringing the hands straight up in front of you. We're gonna squat down, but if you feel that you've done enough leg things for the day, you can just come and sit down. Otherwise, lower all of the way down. Knees come down, toes tuck. Okay. And then come back up onto the knees, and then retuck those toes, and then sit there. Perfect. Now, once you've found that really comfortable position with those toes tucked, bring your hands in front of you, and then create that triangle or kind of sort of spade shape in front of your chest. Okay. Now, notice what's going on through the shoulders and the elbows, and then press the hands away from you, and then draw it back in. Now, move the hands up slightly higher so they're almost in line with your throat, and then press out, draw it back in. Then lower the hands back down so it's in line with the center of your chest. Press away, draw back. Draw it back up to the throat, press, and back. And then notice what one felt better for you, and maybe there's no difference. And if there is no difference for you, have your hands hit the center of your chest. Okay, otherwise move to where it felt better for you. Draw the shoulders down out of your ears, and then press forward again. And this time as you take the arms back, think about those actions through the shoulders, drawing the shoulder blades together, and the elbows back. They won't go very far back if you keep those fingertips touching, but it's that action. And then press forward. And then draw back. And then press forward. Allow the arms to relax. Take your hands to the ground and then really tap out those toes. Let them relax. And then just gently move the hips from side to side, relaxing those hips. Toes come down. Hands come down. Then set your hands up in that same triangle position we just did in front of our chest. Okay? So it's right underneath your chest to start, or if you know that it felt better around your throat when you were seated, move them so they're right underneath your throat here. So if you're not sure, it's just slightly ahead of the shoulders, so your arms look like they're at a bit of an angle, or if it's right in line with the chest, your wrists, elbows, and shoulders will be in a relatively straight line. Okay? Now start to walk back the knees so your body is in a nice supported half plank. Okay? Then pause here. And now you can either hold here, turn your head to face your computer and watch, or come out of this completely, sit down and watch for a second. So we walk through the next alignment for what we're doing. So your knees are slightly apart just to support the back. The hips draw slightly under as the belly moves up towards the chest. Taking a breath in, you lengthen through the top of the head, and then the elbows move out to the side as you exhale. As the elbows draw out to the side, your body will lower. Inhale, press up and come up. Okay, noticing that my chest didn't come all the way to the ground. And you might try one of these and have to readjust your hand forward or back. But only lower down to the point where you know you can come back up and that you're not losing the alignment in your spine. So you're not doing this action and you're not doing this action, okay? Those are all totally separate things. None of them are super safe for your low back, so try not to do them. Keep that length and then draw those elbows out to the side, lower down, and press back up. Okay, so set yourself up and we'll do all these together. And if you were doing those ones with me, you get a bonus too. All right. Set those arms, wrists, elbows, shoulders in line. Take a breath in and then exhale, lower down. Come back up. We'll do 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come back up. Allow the hands to move apart. Send the tailbone up and back. Try not to send it though down to your heels. I know you want to come down into child's pose, but walk those hands forward. And this time, coming into a gentle back bend. Head moves in between the arms and the bum sticks all the way up. Really think about tucking that belly in though, so you're not relaxing the belly towards the ground. You're still having it slightly supported. Then come all the way back up, drawing the elbows in and lowering yourself all the way down to the ground onto your belly. From here, the forehead comes down to the ground. One hand stacks on top of the other. Knees bend and then just drop the feet from side to side. Allow that motion to stop. Legs come down. Hands come in line with the shoulders. Then slowly, all in one unit, lift the head and the upper chest off the ground. Okay, so try again if you're not sure. Forehead and chest, one unit lift off the ground. Chin tucks in towards the chest slightly. Now see, could you lift your hands off the ground? Now could you move the arms so they're in that right angle position? Pressing into the feet. Don't allow the tops of the feet to come off the ground. Really use those legs. Now, could you stretch those arms out into a nice wide V? Draw the elbows down and allow them to move all the way back and down towards the sides of the ribs. Now, draw them up into that nice wide V. Bending the elbows, drawing them in. We'll do 3 more. 1, 2, and 3. Stretch those arms out. One hand on top of the other. Forehead comes down. Knees bend. And gently drop the legs from side to side. Toes tuck. Hands come right underneath the shoulder. Push yourself back and up, coming into child's pose this time. Allow the back to relax. We are going to move through that set one more time. So if you know that it was not great for you or you would like to leave it out, you absolutely can. Or if you want to modify, absolutely you can. So find yourself back into that tabletop position to start. Find your hands in that triangle shape right in front of the chest. Hips drop, and we'll do 5 more of these together. Lift up nice and tall through the chest. Lower down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Press up. Keeping your hands here, could you lower yourself all the way down to the ground? Maybe. Otherwise, find yourself onto your belly. Hands come right underneath the shoulders. Inhale. Head and chest off the ground. Arms move out. And then it's 5 reaches and draw back and down. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold up this time. Take one hand down, the other hand stacks on top. Forehead comes down, knees bend, and then drop from side to side. Feet come back down. Take your right arm and stretch it out and allow yourself just to roll over onto your right side. So that right bottom arm is supporting my head and that left arm is straight out in front of me. Take that left knee to the floor here. And then you decide, is this just really good to help your low back relax? Or could you take that left arm all the way up and then exhale and open up into a wide twist. That front knee, try to keep it down on the ground and then don't worry about if that left shoulder comes to the ground. Come back up and lower it down. And then 2 more times. Inhaling, lift up. Exhale, moving into the twist. Mostly just remember that you're not holding your breath. And I find going into the twist easier on the exhalation. Last one. But that doesn't mean that might be what speaks to you today. Come back down. And then take that left arm straight out in front, or tent it in front of you just for support. Straighten that left leg, roll back onto your belly, and then roll over to the other side. So I'll flip around so you can actually see what I'm doing. And then right knee comes down. Lift that right arm straight up, and then exhale, opening into that twist. Inhale, come back up. And over. Coming into that twist as you exhale. One more time. Opening all the way back up. All the way back over. Coming back. Lowering that arm down in front of you. Tent that right arm. Straighten that left leg. Roll flat onto the back this time. Finding that nice, comfortable position. Taking the feet right underneath the knees. And then take your hands right down by the hips. Tuck that chin in towards the chest. And maybe you want to just do some pelvic moves. So tucking and flattening out that low back. Moving that pelvis just to release. Or maybe you're feeling like it's a day where you could do a couple hip lifts. So tucking that tailbone slightly under, drawing the sit bones towards the heels, and then walking the fingertips down, creating as much length as you can through the tops of the shoulders. Press into the feet as you lift up. Lower down, lift up. Lower down. And then just following your breath, doing a few more, and then notice, is it a day where you could come down halfway, press up, halfway, press up, and then hold up on this last one here, making sure that the knees feel safe. If you do need to readjust the feet at all, you absolutely can. Just make sure you're not turning the head side to side. Breathe. So you can draw those hips up a little higher towards the ceiling. And then as we come down, send those sit bones towards the heels, making as much length as you can through the back. Draw the knees towards the chest. Wrap the hands around the shins. Gently rock from side to side. Feet come down. And then drop the right knee right and the left knee left. Foot soles come together. And you're in this reclined Baddha Konasana or butterfly pose. And just find a space where your low back feels comfortable. So again, tucking and tucking that pelvis. Hands can be on the belly, or if you can, have those arms all the way up into a nice wide V. And then just breathe here. Allow the body to begin to slow down and relax. Noticing the breath in your body. Slowly drawing the knees back together. And then the arms slide down or up into a T position. And just allow that windshield wiper action to happen through the legs again, relaxing that low back. And stretching the legs out along the mat, stretching the arms all the way up above the head. Take a breath in and tighten everything. And relax. And then one more breath in and tighten everything as tight as you possibly can. And then relax the body into the ground beneath you. Arms slide down, maybe knees bend. Just find where it is that feels comfortable for your Shavasana today. Eyes can gently close. And just allow the body to feel completely supported by the ground beneath you. Allowing the breath to feel relaxed and easy in your body. The mind is quiet and at peace. If you need a few more moments in your Shavasana today, you can just stay laying down. Otherwise, if you're joining me, you can sit up, take a breath in, gathering all that positive energy you've created for yourself today. Bringing the hands down into heart center. Being grateful for all that we're fortunate enough to have and not have. Grateful for this time you've given yourself this morning. And I'm grateful you joined me this morning. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of day. Namaste. And if you are watching on YouTube, remember that later today we have Daria's gentle yoga we don't have Daria's today. I'm wrong. We have Maggie's meditation today. So sorry, guys. And yeah, so the Maggie's meditation will be today at 6 p.m.